Hi everyone. Okay, back with video number 10 in my DVD collection, all in alphabetical order. There's a playlist on my channel if you want to follow along that way. Here we go. Curtis Hanson's excellent adaptation of James Ellroy's LA Confidential. And I love a snapcase edition that folds out. Steve Martin, LA Story. Love this one, La La Land. The Fantastical Labyrinth with David Bowie, Jim Henson, Creatures and Jennifer Connelly. Judi Dench and Maggie Smith in Ladies in Lavender, written and directed by Charles Dance. Barbara Stanwyck, Henry Fonda in the classic The Lady Eve. And from M. Night Shyamalan, this is Paul Giamatti and Bryce Dallas Howard, The Lady in the Water. Directed by Sidney J. Furie and starring Diana Ross and Billy D. Williams, this is the Oscar-winning Lady Sings the Blues about Billie Holiday. From director Ken Loach, this is Lady Bird, Lady Bird. And the Coen brothers do a remake of the classic The Lady Killers. I really did not enjoy this one. Thoroughly recommend the Alec Guinness original. Really good 80s fantasy film directed by Richard Donner. This is Michelle Pfeiffer, Matthew Broderick and Rutger Hauer in Ladyhawke. And this is documentary Lambert and Stamp about the guys who went on to mentor and manage The Who. Doug McClure in a great fantasy adventure, The Land That Time Forgot. A really excellent Australian film, talked about this one before on my channel, Lantana with Anthony LaPaglia and Barbara Hershey. Sam Waterston in Lantern Hill. The Laramie Project, all-star cast in this one, telling the true life story of a 21-year-old in Laramie, Wyoming, who is beaten to death and the community's response to that. Bill Murray, Larger Than Life. And Angelina Jolie in Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. Ryan Gosling in the quirky Lars and the Real Girl, directed by Craig Gillespie. And Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans in The Last Boy Scout, directed by Tony Scott. Gus Van Sant's Last Days, inspired by the life of Kurt Cobain and starring Michael Pitt. Timac and Vanity in Berry Gordy's The Last Dragon. Steve Carell, Lawrence Fishburne and Bryan Cranston in Richard Linklater's Last Flag Flying. And Wes Craven's classic The Last House on the Left. Excellent performance from Forrest Whitaker as Idi Amin in The Last King of Scotland, directed by Kevin MacDonald. And directed by, as well as starring, Kiefer Sutherland, this is Last Light. Bruce Willis in Walter Hill's Last Man Standing, inspired by the likes of Yojimbo and Fistful of Dollars. Tom Berenger and Barbara Hershey in Last of the Dogmen. I will find you no matter what occurs. Daniel Day-Lewis in The Last of the Mohicans, fantastic. And Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai. Tom Selleck in an adaptation of Elmore Leonard's Last Stand at Sabre River. And a great 80s sci-fi movie, this one, The Last Starfighter. Based on a true story, this is the Brazilian film Last Stop 174. And Marlon Brando in Bernardo Bertolucci's Last Tango in Paris. Written by James Clavell, who also wrote Shogun. This is Michael Caine and Omar Sharif in the war epic The Last Valley. And one of the great musical films, this is Martin Scorsese's film of the band in The Last Waltz. Great performances from Walter Matthau and Bruce Dern in The Laughing Policeman. And classic film noir, Gene Tierney and Dana Andrews in Laura. Great movie from the Ealing Studios, Alec Guinness and Stanley Holloway in The Lavender Hill Mob. And Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx in Law Abiding Citizen. Tom Hardy, Jessica Chastain and Shia LaBeouf in Lawless. And the truly epic Lawrence of Arabia with Peter O'Toole, directed by David Lean. 1971, and it's Steve McQueen in Le Mans. Directed by Jacques Rivette, this is Le Pont du Nord. And certainly not a great film, this is Sean Connery in The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Tom Hanks, Madonna and Gina Davis in the baseball comedy A League of Their Own, directed by Penny Marshall. And from Rocky director John G. Avildsen, this is Morgan Freeman as a teacher in Lean on Me. Amy Adams and Matthew Good in the cheesy Irish comedy Leap Year. Nicolas Cage's Oscar-winning performance in Leaving Las Vegas, and an Oscar nomination for Elizabeth Shue as well. Great movie. Led Zeppelin concert movie, The Song Always Remains the Same. And Matthias Schoenaerts in this rather strange Belgian movie, Left Bank. Ridley Scott's Legend. This is a bit of a glare on this one, but yeah, this includes the director's cut as well as the theatrical version. So they had different music scores. One had Tangerine Dream, the other had Jerry Goldsmith. Alexander Skarsgård in the truly awful The Legend of Tarzan, directed by David Yates. An absolutely classic Jackie Chan, The Legend of Drunken Master, or Drunken Master 2 as it's sometimes known. Julie Delpy and Justin Theroux in The Legend of Lucy Keys. And from Cinema Paradiso director Giuseppe Tornatore, this is The Legend of 1900 with Tim Roth. Unfortunately only the 2 hours 5 minute version. I'd like to get the much longer version. From director King Hu, this is Legend of the Mountain. And the pretty good fun, the Lego Batman movie. Helen Mirren and Donald Sutherland in The Leisure Seeker. And Charlotte Gainsbourg and Charlotte Rampling in Lemming. 2019 BBC adaptation of Les Miserables, one of the many adaptations. This one with Dominic West, Lily Collins, David Oyelowo and Josh O'Connor. Enjoyable thriller this one, Let Him Go with Kevin Costner and Diane Lane, and a really good performance over the top from Leslie Manville. The story of Derek Bentley is told in this one, Let Him Have It, which I've talked about before on my channel. And Matt Reeves' remake of Let the Right One In, this is Let Me In with Chloe Grace Moretz. And here is the Thomas Alfredson original, Let the Right One In. Marilyn Monroe and Yves Montand in Let's Make Love. A nice creepy movie this one from 1971, Let's Scare Jessica to Death. Directed by Hal Ashby, this is a Rolling Stones concert movie, Let's Spend the Night Together. About time I rewatched this actually, Mel Gibson and Danny Glover in the classic Lethal Weapon, directed by Richard Donner. Really good movie this, directed by William Wyler, this is Bette Davis in The Letter. And Clint Eastwood's companion piece to Flags of Our Fathers, this is Letters from Iwo Jima. From director Stephen Frears and written by Jimmy McGovern, this is Liam. And directed by John Sayles, this is Leanna. A questionable biography of the Monty Python's Graham Chapman in A Liar's Autobiography. And Johnny Depp, Samantha Morton and John Malkovich in The Libertine. Bella Principessa. This is Roberto Benigni in the Oscar-winning Life is Beautiful. And from Danny Boyle, this is Ewan McGregor and Cameron Diaz in A Life Less Ordinary. William Powell and Irene Dunne in Life with Father, directed by Michael Curtiz. And Alfred Hitchcock's classic Lifeboat. Great performance from Terence Stamp in Steven Soderbergh's The Limey. And from director Jim Jarmusch, this is The Limits of Control. Really emotional one this, Dev Patel and Nicole Kidman in Lion. Excellent. Classic regal drama this one, Katharine Hepburn and Peter O'Toole in The Lion in Winter. Walt Disney's animated classic, The Lion King. And I haven't watched this actually, but this is the follow-up, The Lion King 2. Brittany Murphy and Holly Hunter in Little Black Book. And watched this one recently. This is an Australian movie from the 70s, Little Boy Lost, directed by Terry Bourke, about true life events involving a young boy who goes missing in the bush and the thousands of people who go looking for him. From director Bernardo Bertolucci, this is Keanu Reeves as Little Buddha. And adapted from the John le Carré novel, this is Diane Keaton in The Little Drummer Girl, directed by George Roy Hill. Jodie Foster stars and directs Little Man Tate. An enjoyable one this, with Steve Carell and Toni Collette, Paul Dano, Little Miss Sunshine. Alan Arkin stars in and directs this black comedy from 1971, Little Murders, with Elliot Gould. Jack Nicholson in Roger Corman's The Little Shop of Horrors. Jane Horrocks and young Ewan McGregor and Brenda Blethyn and Michael Caine in Little Voice. And Greta Gerwig's really excellent adaptation of Louisa May Alcott's Little Women. Talked about this one before on my channel. This is live at Sing Sing, also known as Sing Sing Thanksgiving. Encourage people to seek it out. Directed by documentary maker David Hoffman. So not only is it a concert showing B.B. King, Joan Baez, and the really excellent Voices of East Harlem Choir, this was actually filmed inside Sing Sing Thanksgiving as well. So yeah, really fascinating one. Classic science fiction action from director Doug Liman. This is Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt in Live, Die, Repeat, but really I know it better as Edge of Tomorrow. Bruce Willis in Len Wiseman's Live Free or Die Hard. This is Die Hard 4. Not too good, but at least it's better than the one that came after it. Oscar-winning film this, directed by Florian Henkel von Donnersmarck. This is The Lives of Others. Really superb film, definitely worth seeking out. The Living and the Dead, and this features a performance from Roger Lloyd Pack, perhaps best known for appearing in Only Fools and Horses as Trigger. Ted Danson and Joely Richardson go looking for the Loch Ness Monster in Loch Ness. And classic sci-fi with Michael York and the gorgeous Jenny Agutter, Logan's Run. Okay, I'll leave it there. So please leave me your comments. Let me know if there's any movies here that you're not familiar with, but maybe you're interested to find out more about. But yeah, join me again for video 11. Hope to see you soon. All the best to you. Bye-bye.